App Growth community, welcome back to the App Growth Show, where we host mobile experts to unlock valuable and actionable insights on how you can grow your app. No matter where you are in your app growth journey, we are here to help you reach your mobile growth goals. Let's dive into today's episode. Today we are so excited to be joined by a valued client of AGN, Jenny Shalev. Originally, Jenny was a software engineer, but when she made the move from Israel to Silicon Valley, she transitioned into the consumer app business and created an amazing app called ThinkUp. ThinkUp is an award-winning mental health app. If you're looking to build a positive mindset and motivation through self-talk and affirmation, ThinkUp is a leader in this space. ThinkUp is recommended by top personal development and mental health specialists. It offers a unique combination of simple and effective self-help techniques that can be personalized for any life goal, such as self-confidence, motivation, career, stress relief, anxiety, and mental health. Prepare to hear an intriguing perspective for someone who entered the app space with no huge ambitions or goals, but with a powerful and inspiring idea that resulted in tremendous success in the health and fitness vertical.
Hello, this is Jennifer Sansone from App Growth Network, and today is a special day because we are joined by an amazing app called ThinkUp, and here to talk to us is Jenny. Hello, Jenny.
Hello, Jennifer. Thank you for having me. So I'll try to do my best to share my experience and all my insights. Feel free to ask me anything. I'm especially happy to support founders in general, or in this mental health space, and female founders as well. So feel free to follow me on Twitter, reach out to me, ask any questions. I'm always happy to help to founders and to female founders.
Fantastic. And it's so great to have you as a female founder on the show to talk to us from your perspective. And also you have an amazing product. So we definitely want to get into that. So why don't we start with that? Tell us a little bit about Jenny and what is ThinkUp?
Yeah, so I'm a software engineer. I'm originally from Israel. I had a long career in the cybersecurity industry there. And when we moved to Silicon Valley, it was an opportunity for me to change industries. And this is how I switched to consumer apps and co-founded ThinkUp with my co-founder. Her name is Rit. ThinkUp is a mental health, positive psychology app. If I have to summarize in one sentence, I would probably pay, like in retrospect, I would probably pay for working on this project. This is really an amazing and a life-changing app. And I'm very, very fortunate to work on it. I have two boys. And in general, a lot of my focus goes on to my family and to the community. I would say my approach to life is holistic. So I try to do my best, to do a lot of things. I work on various volunteering projects. And I try to prioritize my time in a way, that I'm trying to do as many things as I can, not only working on this app. My hobbies are probably surprising, maybe. So I love yoga, practicing for a very long time. So, well, this is not surprising. And crypto. So if you're into crypto and NFTs, so we can talk about it a bit, maybe. So about ThinkUp, we actually started it when I moved to the US as a lifestyle project. It was like we didn't have huge plans. It was self-funded app, and I think it's such an amazing app that it did the whole. People were so grateful for us developing it. So we were just lucky, to build an app that people really wanted, without making huge plans and raising money. We were just incredibly lucky. My co-founder, Rich, is from mental health space. She was into meditation, and wellness for many years. And I was the technical co-founder. So we were able to build this app. The idea of ThinkUp is to help people develop a positive mindset and overcome various mental health challenges. So there is a technique that many personal development gurus and coaches, therapists use. It's called positive affirmations, or in a more professional language, self-talk. So what we basically did with ThinkUp is to make it easy and effective to practice positive affirmations. So people did it for many years by themselves in front of the mirror. There are different ways to do it. We just made it super simple. And what especially I think is good about ThinkUp is that we help people build the habit of positive affirmations. And this is very important to any consumer app. If we want people to use something, we need to help them to form a habit, because there are a lot of really great wellness techniques, but if you don't do it on a daily basis, you will not get the benefits. So this, I would say, this is probably the most important part of ThinkUp. And maybe another thing that we work with various influencers, a lot of focus on the community. So if you open ThinkUp and go to the browse tab, you will see a lot of people from different areas that contributed their content to ThinkUp. For example, Dr. Schechter, he is a very known doctor in the pain management field. So he literally prescribes ThinkUp to his patients to help them treat mostly back pain. So you will see his affirmations inside the app, his recommended affirmations. You can find people from various influencers and experts from various fields, like weight loss and depression, bipolar disease, and so on. So I think this is also what's great about ThinkUp, is the ability to learn from the best. You can go and really find what experts recommend, what kind of affirmations you should use. So yeah, so I think probably these are the most important things.
Yeah, and it really is an amazing product. And also the whole idea of positive self-talk, it seems like it would be simple, but it's not. It's really not something that we're used to doing. So it's, a product like this is so amazing to see, because it does kind of help you overcome those hurdles of, how do I even do it? Like, this feels strange. I think at the beginning, that's kind of the first thing people think is look in the mirror and talk to myself. Like, what does that even mean? So it's really an amazing product, and I can see why it has become so popular and has done so well. And kind of going on that point, we've have the honor of being part of your app growth journey, as you are an AGN client, which has been wonderful. And, we have noticed some really great things, like in the past 6 months, a LTV growth of nearly 40%, which is great. So in your opinion, from your side, what do you think are some of the factors that have contributed to this success?
Yeah, so first of all, great job. This LTV growth of 40% it's really impressive. So when we started working together, I think Fuad, the CEO, his approach was very good. So the idea was so part of the package was an inspection stage. I think this is how it's called. So the idea was really to inspect and evaluate various areas in the app and trying to find where to focus, what to focus on. Because like it's a huge app and there are a lot of things you can do. So you really need to find those things that the ROI, that we will start working on, and we will see some results. And I think this inspection stage is very important. So we had experts from different fields, and there was like a lot of different ideas what we could do. And what we decided to do is mostly focus on the funnel, on the onboarding of the users, and especially, well, it's not surprising, but still it was clear that we should focus there, especially on the free trial screen, which is basically the main point where users decide if they are gonna use the app, or they will decide just to look for another app. And I think this is what we did right, or you guys did right. So this is why we saw this impressive results. So I think the idea is to really inspect everything about the app and then choose where you want to focus on. And this was the right approach. So yeah.
So yeah, it sounds like, there really was a need to maybe identify where some of those drop-offs were happening. And, I think it is, from an insider perspective, a little bit difficult sometimes to analyze your own app and kind of, figure out what might be causing people to either not continue or to drop off. So I'm glad that this approach worked for you, and clearly it did. As ThinkUp.
It usually also, you understand where not to focus on, because like you have a long list of things you think, I want to improve, I want to add this feature and that feature, but you clearly see where the main focus should go to. And this is the right thing to do, because you can develop features and add new things and see almost no effect. And this was really the right thing to do.
Excellent point. That's an excellent point. That's true. That is true. And also, just in this category, right, the health and fitness wellness category, it's a very competitive category. So maybe tell us a little bit more about what ThinkUp does to position itself against competitors and stay ahead.
Yeah. So I would say there are two main things. The first one is product. Eventually, it's a consumer product, so it should be good, obviously. So what we are trying to do is to build the best app and the most comprehensive app. So we want people to come to ThinkUp and say, okay, I don't need anything else, because everything I need is inside the app. I think especially it's about content. So I see some apps that people that founders release or startups release, and they don't keep updating the content. You want to make sure that you add new affirmations, you add new influencers or experts, you add new music, because we have original music on ThinkUp. So this is really important to keep maintaining and to keep growing. So this is and obviously adding new features from time to time, and we try to maintain a balance between like maintenance features, just to make sure that the app continues working well, and adding new features, because you really need to find this balance. And the other thing, I would say, the ASO, Apple Store optimization, and here, you guys help us to improve it. So we constantly need to make sure that we are targeting the right keywords. Our organic position is, we keep maintaining it with the right keywords. So when people search on the App Store, they find us in all the right keywords. So I would say this is, you need to kind of protect your organic position all the time. It's not, because even if you started like really nice and you have a very good ranking, people will advertise, other apps or competitors will advertise, and all this ranking can move if you not keep working on it. So I think, so this part, we are working with you guys on keeping the ASO in place.
Yeah, and that is an important element. As you said, ASO is not a one and done type of deal, where it's a very dynamic environment. So maybe something that was working 6 months ago will not work now, right? It's always refreshing and seeing what's out there. And yeah, so you bring up some very good points about what you're doing to stay ahead, as most of the strong apps do. So that's great to hear. I want to maybe talk about a little bit more, if there's anything in addition that you want to add about kind of the step-by-step process that ThinkUp applied as part of your growth plan.
Yeah, so as I mentioned already, there was this inspection stage that you guys did, and there was a list of things we want to do, prioritized, obviously. Again, it has, you always have to make sure that you keep all this resources, you keep managing them. It's not like, okay, I had a great ASO, so I can move forward to something else. You need to make sure that everything is constantly managed. So one of the things we did, we worked on the screenshots. So now Apple, they have a new feature of product pages that we are now working on. So you can create different product pages for different target audiences, because ThinkUp, as I mentioned, this is universal. Affirmations is a universal tool, but it can help with specific problems like weight loss and back pain, or various mental health issues. So obviously the screenshots, it's difficult to create screenshots that address all these problems at the same time. So we really need to create some subsets and to target the right audience all the time. So part of the thing is to do better targeting, and to use all these Apple tools to support growth, because this is a new feature, Apple, I think like probably a few months, maybe 2 or 3 months. So we need to we need to develop all these new screenshots and to make sure that we utilize this feature for better targeting. Another thing that we worked a lot on is the funnel part, as I mentioned. So we wanted to make sure that the free trial thing, that we address it correctly with the right pricing, and with the right promo codes and so on. So it was a lot of work in this area. Another thing, I think it's important, and many people many founders or startups get it wrong sometimes. You need to reduce complexity. One of the things, the inspection, I think it was Alexei from your team.
Yeah.
So he kept saying, look, we should remove this, because sometimes it's too complicated. Founders, they want to add features all the time, but it makes the app too complex. And then new users, they don't understand what's going on, and it's too complicated for them to use. So we did work to make it simpler, especially for new users to onboard. I don't know, you can call it as easy as possible, less is more, and so on. So I have a small story to tell here. So when we first created the app, so my co-founder, she's not technical, so she would just wait for weeks and weeks to see the first version. And when it was finally ready, obviously with a lot of delays,
as always, yes.
with startups, and she started using it, and she's just, that's it. She was like, is this all? And I told her, it's good news. If you think that it's simple, we did the right thing. So I think it's also about reducing complexity and trying to make sure that new users can use the app and we don't lose them from the beginning. So I would say the inspection stage, working on the funnel, and trying to make the app as simple as possible.
You know, I love that, actually. I love that you said that she said, that's it. And I think that it is, the right reaction, right? You want someone to say, is it really that easy? That's a positive thing. So
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I love that you.
And this is a constant struggle for app developers to keep adding features. And this is the biggest mistake you can do, because users will always ask for new features. This is, of course, but sometimes it's one user out of, I don't know, 100,000, and you really need to put it in the right perspective and really to focus on what's really important. And adding new features, some users like it, but for some users, it makes it much more difficult to use.
Okay. So you've already given us a lot of great advice. And, as you mentioned, keeping it simple and kind of doing a full audit to see what's happening with your funnel. So if you were to give some more advice on things to, you told us what to focus on. What are maybe some things to pay less attention to that maybe you already mentioned that founders try to add too many things, but are there other things out there that maybe people get distracted by, or that really they should pay less attention to really make that app succeed and grow?
Yeah, so I think consumer apps, especially successful consumer apps, it's a kind of art in a sense. And I think it's a bit difficult to engineer it, let's say over-engineer it. So sometimes classic data-oriented approaches, they don't always work with consumer apps. I think you need to find like a basic component. I call it a magic moment. There should be something in the app that users feel like, wow, I love this. And sometimes it's difficult to find this. You really need to find it from the creativity. It should be like a creative moment and less a data-oriented moment, because sometimes people look for this, they try to overanalyze the funnel and to find what users like, what users don't like, but you really should try to be creative. For example, in ThinkUp, this magic moment is when users, the idea of ThinkUp is to record the affirmations in your own voice. So what we know that the moment people record their affirmations, and you are right, it can be sometimes difficult, listening to your own voice, but it's also a magic moment for many users. They say, wow, I hear myself saying I'm grateful for the good in my life. So for many people, just being able to say it changes their whole perspective. So we know that this is the magic moment. So we are trying to make sure that people try it and they really feel and see how it works. So I would say that try to find this magic moment in your app and try to make sure that people really can experience it. Instead of, again, adding more and more features and adding some graphics and all the things, people like simple things. This is what we learn. So make it simple, but find this magic. I think also another lesson for what we learned from our users, that people don't like that there are too many choices. For example, when there is an onboarding and people have to choose between 5 different options, oftentimes they will just churn. And because if there are 2 options, it's good. Because 1 option, it's not enough. 2 options is great. 3 options, people start thinking maybe this, maybe that, and they are distracted by something else and they disappear from the app. So try not to make people, don't give too many choices, just make it simple for them. So another thing, this is actually what I do suggest to focus on, is the metadata. People, again, we developed the app is amazing, but there is this whole thing of the description and the keywords and the name of the app and the short name and the long name and all this metadata that maybe seem, okay, I'll just write something there. It's not that important. It is the most important part, because this is how users find the app. This is how users understand for whom this app is, and so on. So make sure to research, to research like what kind of keywords you would want to target and maintain it all the time. So I would say these are the main things.
Yeah, and I love how you phrase that. Kind of, it is that dichotomy of the art and science, right? And how you're kind of blending it, but calling it magic and data, perhaps, right? Where it's, if you're too one way, it's a little too out there. If you're too the other, then it's right. It is that nice combination, that nice balance of, and I love the idea of every app having that magic moment, which is a beautiful way to think about it, because that is ultimately what gives the app its flair and makes people coming back, right? Is to experience that magic over and over.
Exactly.
So yeah, I love how you phrase that. All right, Jenny, as we wrap it up, I just want to maybe see, if I may ask, if there's, a next chapter for ThinkUp or what might be coming next.
Yeah, so most of our focus in the recent years was on our iPhone app. Now we are working on the Android app as well. So I hope in the upcoming months, there are going to be a huge upgrade and update in our Android app. And this is a good opportunity to give a big shout out to our team in Ukraine. They are having a very difficult time. but it's still, so I told them, guys, just take your time, just stay safe. But they are so committed and they keep working. I'm just really amazing guys. If they hear it, we love you, and please stay safe. In addition, we are working on a podcast, ThinkUp podcast. So it's also a good way to promote the app. So we get additional users from there. And we are looking at on social media, Instagram, TikTok, all this kind of directions. And I also feel we have a lot of opportunity to grow there.
Well, fantastic. And again, just want to reiterate that I'm a big fan of ThinkUp, and, you know, this whole, anything that has to do with positivity in the mental health space is so needed, especially now. And just so many things that we've all gone through. So just knowing that there are resources out there that help us all tackle these issues with some mental clarity, and hopefully come out the other end stronger and healthier. So thank you so much for bringing a product like this to the world. We appreciate it. And Jenny, I would like to thank you again for your time and for sharing all your insights. And we hope maybe we can have a follow-up session at some point.
Thank you so much. And I'm really grateful for working with you guys. Thank you for helping us to spread positivity and this really life-changing app to as many people as possible. Thank you so much. And thank you, Jennifer, for the interview.
Thank you. Bye, Jenny.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning into the App Grow Show today. We hope you were able to take away some actionable insights on how to achieve success as a health and fitness app in 2022. We hope you've gained a better understanding of some of the initial yet critical steps in an app growth path, as well as the importance of initial optimization, as well as the ongoing maintenance and upgrades required to stay ahead of the competition and keep your user base satisfied. If you found today's episode to be helpful, please visit appgrowth.com and book your free call with us today to supercharge your mobile growth. See you in the next episode. Bye for now.